You're underground, it's dark, and you're alone. 3 days ago, your mom crawled in here and laid a single egg, and you're what came out of it. When you grow up, you're going to be a red velvet ant, aka a cow killer. You'll be an almost indestructible little bug with few natural enemies and a horrific, murderous life cycle. For now, Mum's not here. She's most likely out laying more eggs and destroying more lives. In her tiny insect brain, she doesn't even know you exist, so don't expect any motherly love, affection, support, or guidance. And Dad's probably dead by now, so you can forget about him. So, at this point, it looks like you're going to have to fend for yourself. So how about starting by finding something to eat? Luckily, Mum took care of you in that respect before abandoning you because she laid your egg in somebody else's nest and then buried you in there. That means you're now surrounded by the larvae and pupae of whichever bee or wasp was unlucky enough to be targeted by your mother. But who cares what they are? All you're interested in is eating them, so grab one and tuck in. Yum. And that's your life for now. All you need to do is stay in the nest you've occupied and pick the other grubs off one by one until they're all gone. Congratulations. You've eaten all your nestmates, so now it's time for you to pupate. Now you've got two choices. If it's cold outside, it means the summer's already ended, so you'll stay where you are in your pupa for the whole winter and emerge next spring. But since it's still warm outside, you'll be ready to go before the winter arrives. So after about 23 days, you emerge from your pupa as a fully developed adult red velvet ant. So go ahead, stretch your new legs, dig your way out of the nest, and go get your first look at the outside world. Congratulations once again. You've emerged into the big wide world, and now you only have 3 things on your mind. You want to eat, you want to have sex, and you want to have babies. So first, food. Your favorite meal is nectar from flowers, so go and grab some of that because there's plenty about. While you do that though, we've got some news to break to you. You're not an ant. Yeah, you look like one, but red velvet ants are actually wasps. They just call you an ant because you look a bit like one, and because you don't have wings. Well, you don't have wings because you're a female. Male red velvet ants have wings, but let's forget about those guys just for now because, spoiler alert, you'll be getting more closely acquainted with one of them soon enough. Yeah, intimately acquainted. But first things first. You're pretty big for a wasp, about 3/4 of an inch. You can't fly, and you're a solitary species, so you can't call in the rest of your swarm if you get into trouble because you don't have a swarm. But you don't really need one cause you're a seriously hardcore little lady. Look at your colors. You're not exactly inconspicuous, are you? Some might even say you're trying to get noticed with that furry, flashy velvet black and red coat of yours. I mean, not many creatures could pull off an outfit like that. But the real reason you're sporting such striking clobber is because you want to advertise that you're not one to be messed with. Technically, it's known as aposematic coloration, and it's your way of letting any animals that might want to make a meal of you that you're really not on the menu. But what happens if they don't get the message? Well, if they get too close, you can stridulate. No, it's nothing naughty, if that's what you were thinking. It just means you can produce a high-pitched, squeaky squealing sound by rubbing your abdominal parts together. And this tends to freak potential predators out a bit and make them think twice about trying to take a bite. Although you're no coward, but you can run pretty fast for a bug of your size, so that helps you keep out of trouble. And you can produce unpleasant chemical secretions that put off would-be attackers too. But after deploying all these warning signs and doing your very best to avoid a confrontation, if some dumb beast still doesn't get the message and wants to tangle, you still have one last surprise in store. Because when things get physical, you can pull out the big guns and defend yourself with an absolutely massive sting full of excruciatingly painful venom. And speaking of venoms, here's some news that might disappoint you a little. You can't actually kill cows with your sting. No, you're not quite that badass. But if you do decide to sting a cow, or just about any other animal, it's going to send them wild, and not in a good way. And as a result of this suite of defenses, practically nobody ever tries it on with you because most animals have learnt that messing with bugs that look like you generally doesn't end well for them. The only animals that might try to eat you are some species of toads, but even then you'll still probably come out on top, because you have such a tough exoskeleton and you're so hardcore that you can actually stay alive for up to 20 minutes inside a toad's stomach. This means you will give any unsuspecting amphibian that eats you such bad indigestion that said amphibian will usually spit you out and let you scurry away to safety rather than try to keep down such an ill-advised meal. So in short, you don't need the support of a hive of angry wasps to back you up because you're perfectly capable of looking out for yourself. Right. Next up, you want to find a mate, and then you want to lay your eggs in some unfortunate other insects' nests so your murderous offspring can emerge and eat all their babies. So where do female cow killers go to pick up boys? No, not like that. Actually, they don't need to go anywhere. All you need to do is sit there, put on some perfume, or at least let out some attractive smelling pheromones, Stridulate for a bit, and the boys will come flocking. That was quick. Here comes one now, and he's making a beeline straight for you. Well, a wasp line.
Hey, sweetie, you want to, get something to eat together? Maybe take in a movie.
Ooh, what a charmer, the romantic type. But tell you what, shall we just skip that bit? We both know what we're here for.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that. I'm not really into dinner and small talk either. Okay, let's go.
And just like that, he picks you up in his mandibles and flies off with you. Well, that's about as much of a love story as you're going to get, because now he's looking for a nice secluded spot to get down to business. That was quick, and you know what really sucks? That's the only time you'll ever get to do it. And to make things worse, he's getting all grumpy and aggressive with you. So much for the love of your life. But you just ignore him and move off. He's not even worth the aggro. And if he really wants to fight, you're the one with the huge great stinger sticking out of your butt. He's not even armed. There he goes. Nice knowing you. Poor boy. He's just accomplished the only goal he had in life, and he didn't exactly cover himself in glory with his performance. Now he'll probably just fly off and die. And it didn't even seem to make him that happy. Anyway, that's that ticked off your list, so what's next? Oh yeah, eggs. Right, another quick nectar snack after your exertions, and it's on to your next job. Red velvet ants are what are technically known as parasitoids. That means you're a type of parasite that kills its host. Yeah, you're a pretty evil kind of bug, and here's how you do it. First, you find the nest of one of your preferred hosts. That includes things like eastern cicada killers and horse-guard wasps, but most other species of ground-nesting bees or wasps will do just fine. You're active during the day when the nests are less well defended, but you're ready to fight anyone you meet in there if necessary. Once you find a nest, you burrow into it, see off anyone who takes exception to your presence, and then lay your single egg next to the helpless larvae and pupae. After that's done, you leave the nest, sealing it from the outside, and head off in search of another nest to lay another egg in. Then, 3 days later, in each of the nests where you laid an egg, your demon spawn larvae will emerge, consume all the grubs and pupae they find, and then pupate themselves. Just like you did when you first crawled out of your own egg. Now you're all done. You were laid as an egg. 3 days later, you emerged from the egg and ate all of somebody else's babies. You then went into your pupa stage and emerged as a female red velvet ant. You burrowed out from the ground, leaving death, destruction, sorrow, and broken dreams in your wake, and set about finding a mate of your own. After a brief moment of romance, you then set about infecting as many nests as you could with your own horror eggs, and now you've finished that job too. So what's left for you to do now? Die. That's it. You mated once, you laid your eggs, and now your time's up. You only live for a single year at most, and it seems that your only purpose in life is to inflict pain and destroy other people's lives. Nobody likes you. Predators stay away from you, and even your own boyfriend couldn't stand you within a couple hours of first meeting you. But look here. You might already be dead, but your eggs are now hatching. Your larvae are now emerging from their eggs and are wiggling their way towards their new victims. That's your legacy. Hope you feel proud of what you've done.